For us, one of the strong messages that really has come up, that a knowledge sharing initiative or platform would really only work if the member countries want it and want to make it happen, because it really needs people to keep a knowledge sharing platform active and responsive to the real needs of the countries.
The big ocean states, as they call themselves, consider kind of being small a disadvantage, but in some context, actually being small makes you quite agile and able to adapt to new ideas quite quickly. And so Pacific Islands could really become a test bed, or definitely a leading frontier of sustainable employment strategies and policies in the future.
Firstly, I think by everybody meeting each other and working together and sharing ideas, hopefully they can go home and start to think about ways to make sure that the job prospects from climate policies are sort of considered. Secondly, we've got the COP coming up next month in December, and it'll be really good for the Pacific voice in this sort of area of work to be put forward, so that countries know that the Pacific are really thinking about the best ways to be able to make sure that their climate policies are really job market compliant. And then thirdly, I guess there's work going forward. There's a real chance for this to blossom and go forward, and for these people to keep meeting and to share what they've undertaken in the previous time, and with the support of the ILO, to be able to really start to get some concrete outcomes going forward that really work to meet their needs.
One of the most important achievements is that Samoa became the first host, as we all witnessed today. We hosted this first meeting, and we have thoroughly discussed with other member states the importance of the climate change issues and the impact that will be affecting all of us in the Pacific region, including Samoa, and the need to action now, to do some action now.
I think it's really important that you bring the different work streams together. So when we start talking about labour and employment, and when we start talking about climate change and how they are impacting each other, we do know that as countries adapt, there are new jobs that are opening up, such as renewable energy. This is a shift away from fossil fuel to renewable energy, and you have to start thinking about employment opportunities.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity to learn so much from the countries that were able to provide their best practices of green economy, and how climate change affects the labor market, and some issues that have affected the participating countries, and how they've risen up to those challenges.
There's a lot of taranoa on the good practices that each country are doing in terms of the climate change resistance, resilient programs, and it's wonderful, to hear from what each member nations are doing and how we can learn from each other.
One of the privileges was for this meeting to visit the Waisinango catchment project, which has commenced, and also to see other developments like the botanical garden we have at the Wailima area, and also for the participants from these 11 member countries who participated, including the UN representatives and ILO, planting some trees as part of their contribution to that climate resilience activities.
We were shown some very good best practices from the participating countries, especially here in Samoa, and also other countries, but there was a field trip that we did yesterday, and it really provided something to take home for myself, especially not just learning from things that you get information from the paper, but also something concrete that you can take home.
And I believe what we've learned from the meeting and the outcomes that concluded from the meeting are also fruitful, whereby we can go back and apply in our respective countries.
The information overflow that we have received from the experts who are working directly in environmental activities in the region and the international community is also acknowledged, because they did brought about some very important information that Samoa and all the other member states needs to take on board in the development of their own national policies, which will assist them in the long term.
Kiribati is welcoming the next dialogue to host, and which I have been declared during the meeting that Kiribati is going to host the dialogue for next year in Tarawa.